Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. We're focusing today on sources you've shared with us.
And this time, it's an astrology forecast for the week of June 2nd through June 8th, 2025.
That's right. Our guide is the material provided from Astrology Week, Communication, Love, and Growth by Tarot by High C.
So our mission, as always, is to unpack the energies and insights High C is describing here, really see what themes and opportunities might pop up for you this week.
And if High C's work resonates, you can find more over at tarot.hic.net.
That's tarot.hic.net.
Okay, let's jump right in. The source really kicks off by saying this week is all about communication.
But not just, thinking or talking.
Right, it's deeper. It's about embodying your message, like becoming it.
Yeah, the source paints this evolution, doesn't it? Starting kind of like a smart mouth,
Okay.
then growing into a motivator, and then finishing the week more as an emotional translator.
That's quite a journey for 1 week, from smart mouth to emotional translator.
It really is. It suggests a move from just the head down into the heart, into presence,
So the advice is choose your words carefully, be curious, bold,
but also willing to shift gears, flexible.
and let thoughts travel from head to heart. Don't be afraid to feel what you're saying.
Exactly. That feeling part seems key.
And it connects this to healing, right? If you've done work on old wounds.
High C suggests this is where you might get to enjoy the fruits of all that laborious emotional healing.
Makes sense. Less energy spent guarding old stuff.
Means more freedom to experiment and explore. That's how the source puts it. More openness.
Okay, so that sets the stage. Then midweek, things get, well, dynamic. Wednesday, Venus sextile Jupiter.
Ooh, yeah. Venus and Jupiter in a sextile. That usually means good things, opportunity.
Venus is love, connection, values. Jupiter is expansion, luck.
So together, High C describes the energy as flirty, flashy, fast.
Okay, sounds lively.
Definitely. The vibe is magnetic and optimistic. It's really supportive for connection.
Romantically, socially.
Even professionally, potentially. Love in all its forms is in the air, apparently.
The source gives examples like witty banter, bold compliments.
Sudden infatuation, spontaneous crushes.
And, buying things we don't need but suddenly must have. That sounds like Jupiter, all right.
Yes, that expansive, maybe slightly indulgent side. But it also supports cooperation and a meeting of minds.
So it's not all just shopping and flirting.
No.
Yeah.
A positive attitude helps you feel relaxed with others. The takeaway is charm is currency. Spend it on connection. Use that good vibe.
Nice. Okay, then Thursday shifts gears. Mercury sextile Mars. Mind meets action.
Yeah. Mercury communication, Mars drive energy in a supportive sextile.
High C calls this confident, loud, brain power plus bravado.
It sounds powerful.
Yeah.
But the advice is key. Aim for clarity over ego.
Meaning?
Meaning your words should really align with actions. That gives speech a special spark. It's not just talk.
So we might hear strong opinions, maybe some spicy conversations.
And feel that urge to take thoughts public. Think bold, but maybe avoid the theatrical monologues.
Got it. Keep it punchy, not preachy.
Right. It's a good time to forge forward with creative ideas and endeavors. The mind's really active and alert.
Could lead to sudden clarity on a problem.
Definitely. And people might find the courage to say what they've been holding back.
Which could make conversations dramatic but fun.
Potentially. But there's a caution, too.
Yes. With all that speed.
You may be tempted to make quick decisions. But High C stresses you need to check in with our intuitive knowing before finalizing plans.
So think fast, act bold, but listen to your gut first.
That sums it up pretty well. Balance the mental rush with intuition.
Okay, now let's look at the longer-term influences starting this week. June 5th, Venus enters Taurus until July 4th.
Big shift. Venus leaves a more airy or fiery sign, probably, and moves into earthy, grounded Taurus.
Kayasi describes this as slow, sensual, stubborn. Quite a contrast to Wednesday.
Totally. The focus really shifts. We start valuing practicality and substance, loyalty and stability.
And the source says, pretty bluntly, the era of fake love is over.
Whoa. Strong words.
Yeah. It suggests love and life are meant to be pleasurable experiences with no need to rush. No more chasing what disturbs our peace.
That feels anchoring. like valuing what's real, what lasts.
And it connects to deeper work, too, something about divine worth.
Yes, anchoring divine worth and restoring divine order to the body, the senses, and self-worth. It's about treating the body as a temple,
Okay.
but also releasing unprocessed pain and inherited guilt, getting real about what's stored in the body.
So it ties into that idea of no longer being able to spiritually bypass certain things.
Exactly, you asked about spiritual bypass. It's like using spiritual concepts to avoid dealing with, messy human stuff.
Like money or sensuality or self-respect.
Precisely. High C suggests this Venus and Taurus energy kind of grounds us and
Yeah.
makes it harder to ignore those real-world aspects of our lives through spiritual platitudes. It
Yeah.
demands authenticity there.
So build a life that reflects your higher self in tangible ways. Appreciate beauty in the real world.
hmm Invest in things with long-term value. Find beauty in material things that genuinely speak to you aesthetically.
Right.
It's about real-world pleasure and value.
Okay. And then, just as the week closes, Sunday, June 8th, another shift. Mercury moves into Cancer until the 26th.
Right. Mercury, planet of thought and communication, moves into watery, feeling-oriented Cancer.
High C calls this messages from the ancestral waters. That's evocative.
It really is. It means our thoughts and words get strongly connected to feelings, memories, dreams, and the emotional weight behind words.
So thoughts and words are strongly affected by our emotions. Makes sense for Cancer.
And the key is alignment. High C says, words must match our vibration. What you say needs to feel true.
This sounds like a big shift from the Mercury-Mars boldness earlier in the week.
Huge shift. Moving from mental overload to soul-led communication. It's communication with heart, not hype.
How do you do that? Communicate with heart.
The source suggests leading with intuition, letting people see you mean well, showing your genuine intention.
But watch out for oversharing.
Yeah, Cancer energy can be quite porous, and intuition and empathy might be heightened. It's a time to connect emotionally and reflect.
And focus ideas on comfort for yourself and others.
Exactly. Improving comfort. And again, detoxify from spiritual avoidance, especially around emotions.
It seems like a theme this week, getting real.
Definitely. The final thought on Mercury and Cancer is powerful. What we say, how we say it, and the stories we repeat now hold the power to either liberate or entrap. Words have real emotional consequences.
Wow. Okay, that leads us right into the weekend climax. Sunday, June 8th, the same day Mercury enters Cancer, it also conjuncts Jupiter.
Yes, Mercury conjunct Jupiter. Mind meets expansion. This is big mental energy.
Described as high-speed thought, wild curiosity, electric positivity.
It really encourages you to speak our minds and see how far they can take us. Think big, communicate optimistically.
Favors dynamic duos, open communication, brilliant ideas, new concepts.
The urge to communicate, share thoughts is really heightened.
So good time to write, speak, teach, brainstorm.
Absolutely, perfect for that. But there's always a but.
Let me guess. Listen.
You got it. Be sure to also listen consciously to others. Crucial balance with all that mental output.
Especially with potential nervous energy and information overload. Easy to get carried away.
Very easy. But alongside that intensity, there's this lovely thread of unexpected blessings.
Ah, the serendipity part.
Yes. Good fortune materializes in our everyday life via simple assists and commonplace favors. Little things.
And chance encounters could yield life-changing results. That's intriguing.
It really is. And High C notes these moments are often unrecognized in the moment, only understood later. So pay attention to the small stuff.
Stay open.
And look for how we are being rewarded for the faith we had that everything would turn out for the best. It connects serendipity back to trust and belief.
Okay, let's try and synthesize this week High C is describing. It starts with embodying communication, moves through that quick, witty, bold phase midweek. Then these longer transits kick in. Venus and Taurus, grounding us in value, sensuality, authenticity.
While Mercury enters Cancer, pulling communication down into the heart, connecting it with feeling and intuition.
And it all culminates on Sunday with that high-speed Mercury-Jupiter conjunction, full of ideas and optimism, but happening while Mercury is in that sensitive, intuitive Cancer space.
It's quite a progression from head-centric communication towards heart-led expression, requiring both the boldness we saw earlier and the deep emotional honesty that comes later. Courage and intuition.
So the challenge for you, listening, is how to navigate this flow consciously, choosing words with care, appreciating the groundedness Venus brings, building that self-worth.
And staying open to those unexpected Jupiterian moments, the small favors, the chance encounters, while filtering it all through that Cancerian emotional intelligence.
It's about awareness, really, using these described energies rather than being swept away by them.
Well put.
So that wraps up our deep dive into the source material for June 2nd through 8th, focusing on this really rich theme of evolving communication.
Yeah, high seas forecast really drives home the power of our words, especially when they align with our feelings and intentions. And not forgetting those little moments of serendipity.
Right. So here's a final thought for you to take into the week, drawing from High Seas Insights. How might really tuning in to the subtle emotional resonance behind your own words, or just keeping an eye out for those seemingly small everyday bits of luck or helpful encounters, actually reveal something important about your path or maybe affirm the faith you've been holding on to?
Something to ponder. And remember, all the material we explored today came from Astrology Week, Communication, Love, and Growth by Tarot by High C. You can find more details at tarotbyhic.net.